Do you like retro anime?
Yes, but also no.
There are some fantastic titles that you might never have heard of.
And others that really should have been left alone.
Tough, because we're going to cover it all. Father and son, the classics, the obscure, and the forgotten.
The crimes of the anime boom era.
Plenty of all that, all on the Retro Anime Podcast, where we dissect the best and the worst of retro anime from the perspective of someone who grew up with it.
And someone who's never touched it in their life.
Join me, Ian, and my son Lewis on our journey through the retro wilderness. Find us on Twitter at Retro Anime and on all podcast hosting services by searching for Retro Anime Podcast.
I'm Beau Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is Collateral Cinema Miike Edition. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420-friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, the blunts, the bongs, or the joints, smoke it if you got it.
Yeah, Beau's feeling a little 420 friendly tonight.
Oh wow, yes I am. Yeah, that shit is good.
That Houston weed don't fuck around, man.
Fucking H-Town, man. I mean, fucking H-Town for the win. I mean, what can I say?
Glad to deliver it to you, and especially on such an occasion as our Miikeversary.
Yeah, which Robert still hasn't made it.
Robert, god damn it.
Yeah, he's off trying to find Jesus or Waldo or something. I don't know. He found him.
He found him
very easily.
Yep.
So Robert, if you're listening to this, like we know what happened.
We're glad you found God, and I just want to ask you, does he look a little bit like Neil Breen?
No, we all know that this is a rhetorical question. We know that he is Neil Breen. That's the thing.
100%. You know, today we are talking about the happiness of the Katakuris, or Katakuri-ke no Kōfuku.
Oh yes, this is quite possibly one of Miike-san's most delirious movies. It's deliriously joyous, very charming. And I just really, really, really love every little angle that he really took here, you know?
100%. This gets some comparisons to Visitor Q, which we saw a couple of YouTube reviews that did as such.
It was a Cinema Nippon, and what was the other one? What was the other channel? Like we want to, make our... make note of who we're watching and everything. You know?
A little shout out there.
Yeah.
I don't remember though.
I don't remember the second one, but yeah, Cinema Nippon was the first one that kind of made the comparison.
The whole video was on the comparison, between the two. And I mean, on the surface, these are both family-centric films. Just very different in tone, but not in absurdity, in the use of absurdism.
Oh, absolutely not. They're both equally absurd movies. It's just kind of, as was expounded upon in the videos that we watched. It's just mainly divergent in the way that they are executed. It's a matter of execution and also just kind of presentation as well.
Which is interesting if you go into what Miike-san said in the interview we just watched, which is that, he kind of goes into a movie and just makes it, and the genre comes out of that. He doesn't go to direct in a certain genre,
Exactly. No. And this is a man that has pretty much made a full-on career of genre work. You know, I mean, he started off in the Yakuza genre. And he's, of course, done, elements of horror, and, and different types of horror, even psychological and absurdist, and even, kind of almost neo-Lynchian in a way. Kind of David Lynchian with Gozu and everything.
With something like Gozu, right? You compared this actually more to Audition.
I kind of feel like it's more of a juxtaposition. It's like Audition, it's kind of a deconstruction of those types of family dramas that was really, really prevalent in Japan especially during like the 90s and some of the 2000s. That sort of style of drama was really prevalent. And, Audition is actually deconstructing it, whereas I kind of feel like Happiness of the Katakuris is taking the same style and everything and the same concept and just satirizing it more. So it's like satire versus deconstruction.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. This is more of a satire. And this is in the form of a musical comedy. And I realized it was a musical two numbers in, whenever they come in and they discovered the body, that's when I was like, oh, okay, so this is a musical. We already had the other number when the dude is feeling rather down about himself and about to unalive.
Dude, just say he was going to commit suicide. What are you doing? This isn't YouTube or TikTok. Come on.
You're right. You know what? I spent too much time on Facebook where people have to
even on Facebook. Just say it. Who cares? Damn it.
Yeah, and then get the 30-day ban or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that's the kind of, not to go off on a tangent, but that's the kind of thing that George Carlin was talking about the corporate softening of language. That's exactly what he was fucking talking about.
Yeah. To be honest, though, like, you can say shit on Facebook, and a lot of times nothing will happen anyway.
But you can't fucking share goatsy, and that makes me mad. I am mad about that.
You can't even send somebody goatsy in Messenger.
Or meatspin.com. That is a tragedy.
Meatspin doesn't even exist, does it?
Oh, no. I mean, even so, Facebook will still ban the link.
Yeah. But anyway, Happiness of the Katakuris.
Yeah, Happiness of the Katakuris. Like we said, it's a musical, horror, comedy, drama, satire, claymation, amalgamation of different things, and it does, like you said, it encapsulates exactly what Miike does when he approaches his work, when he approaches directing and whatnot,
Definitely.
Like we were watching an interview, which is like a tradition for us with these Miikeversary episodes. We always have to, watch at least a little bit of an interview with Miike himself,
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he actually approaches, getting his actors into the right frame of mind and to actually get the right kind of take, and he's like, I'm very physical in that way, It's like, I mean, and I try to work with my actor and I try to get the best, expression, the best reactions from the characters and everything. So, and that's very, very evident here in Katakuris.
Yes.
Very evident, because I would say that this is even more of a character-driven narrative than even Visitor Q was, which is very much about. But in Visitor Q, the family itself is a character. It's a character full of characters.
These are individual characters sort of coming together and overcoming the obstacles.
Yeah,
definitely a much more wholesome film than Visitor Q.
Absolutely. Much more wholesome. I mean, needless to say, we don't have necrophilia with shit smeared all over the place and mother's milk and all that good stuff.
I mean, yeah, you don't have the incest or the lactation or the necro or any of the rest of that. Instead, we do have the strange chain of deaths that occur at this guest house. Not murders, mind you. A suicide, accidental death / smothering, situation, and then just an unfortunate accident involving my favorite character of this movie.
Oh man, yeah, we're
the man.
Yeah, we will get into the characters here in a little bit because there's a lot to unpack there. But yeah, exactly. Narrative-wise, it's kind of similar, of course, to Visitor Q. This is what was pointed out in these videos that we were talking about, is how these are families where the patriarch has come under like hard times due to the economy or whatnot. And he tries to do something different. Maybe even take a risk in order to do that something different to kind of provide for his family.
Yeah.
In this case, it's buying a bed and breakfast hotel style building and everything where they also, they live there and whatnot.
Right. Yeah. So they're running this guest house and four generations of the family are in on it. You've got Masao, the father, the patriarch. You have his wife, Terue. You have their daughter, Shizue, and her daughter, who's actually the narrator of the film, the little girl.
Which is interesting enough. I mean, it's like this is all pretty much a flashback, I guess. But
Yurie, but it's also kind of unreliable, right? I mean, in the end, it's still kind of a recollection of a child's recollection of, what actually happened there. And I kind of have a theory as to why there are certain elements of this film that are just a little like, okay, yeah, the grandpa just ascends into heaven suddenly. And interestingly enough, the claymation segments are all things that Yurie herself didn't witness. In fact, there are a few scenes in this film that are the more odd scenes. I feel like are things that Yurie didn't witness. So maybe there's some kind of theory here in the works that maybe it's so zany because it's told through the unreliable narration of a child who, for the events that she was there, she saw it through the eyes of the child, and the events that she wasn't there, she's hearing secondhand. Exactly. Especially when it comes to some of the musical numbers between other members of the family, like for instance the whole karaoke sequence between the father and the mother. Yeah. Which is absolutely brilliant because it's presented in a traditional it's a karaoke. Yeah, it's some good old-fashioned karaoke from the 90s. It kind of has that kind of late 90s, early 2000s Japanese aesthetic. Man, I actually want to sing along with it. Exactly, but my Japanese is just not that good. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all the musical numbers in this movie are phenomenal. They're just like the whole family just reacting, and that's due in part to I think the fact that a couple of the actors are actually musicians, and including the actor for Masao, Kenji Sawada, and the actor that plays Richard, the man, Kiyoshiro Imawano. The man. Exactly. He's absolutely the man. That's absolutely who he is. I mean, he just comes in. I mean, he sees the Shizue, and he's just like immediately trying to get with her, just immediately. By order of Queen Elizabeth, give me your mobile number. Exactly. Also, why does that scene have so many like cuts? And it's kind of interesting. Miike does that in a few other films. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So I just thought, but it's just like, I think it's the one scene where they do that in this movie, and it's such an odd place. But immediately I was just like, what a fucking Chad. I mean, that he's full of bullshit, but at the same time, I mean, he's manipulating her. Absolutely. And you're just like, oh my God. I mean, he just has charisma levels to the max. Richard Sagawa, or as I like to call him, Richard Sagawa. And I mean, just the way that Shizue falls for him is just, I mean, it's adorable in its own right, but it's just like, homegirl, come on now. Yeah, I mean, she's just very naive. That's her character as a whole. I mean, even after the whole accident, I mean, she still believes that he's a member of the U.S. Army that's related to Queen Elizabeth. It's like, come on, girl. Absolutely, and you're just like, I mean, it's sweet, but it's also like you just know that. She's being taken advantage of. But this man, it's just She goes, "Do you want anything to eat? Something to drink, maybe?" He walks up the stairs. There's a few seconds of silence as he walks up the stairs, puts his foot up on the landing, and in this just totally, Giga Chad dominant pose, and says, "I want to eat you."
Oh my God, it's so fucking perfect. She just goes, she's just like, she gets the vapors, like 100%.
My man, Richard. It's unfortunate what happens, because the grandfather, we mentioned this is a 4-generation family. So this is Masao's father, Jinpei, and he comes in, and I guess, he's kind of already sus with Richard, and she's away, and then, he sees that he's stolen the ashtray, and, and then Richard kind of shows his true colors, and he's a little violent, and then he gets thrown off a cliff, and we get another claymation sequence.
Yeah, the claymation sequences in these are absolutely amazing. And the first one that actually opens up the movie, it's this crazy non sequitur, almost like like 3 or 4 minute like short film almost.
What the fuck is that? What does that have to do with the movie other than, getting the crow to the scene where we see the grandpa, throwing the stick at it?
My thing about it is that it's more than likely just kind of emblematic of the actual hope and dreams of the Katakuris. That's what that little thing is. Like, I don't know what it means when he takes the uvula out. I admit, I'm not sure what the
uvula.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual symbolism is there. But I mean, I think the way that that little creature is attacked by the crow, then eaten and turned and just chopped into bits, and then reborn and then eaten again. It's just kind of indicative of just the bad luck that the Katakuris are experiencing. All those hopes and dreams are just keep getting just destroyed fundamentally.
Yeah, you see that. I mean, it's just like it's just event after event, because they go, however long they go without any single guest, to just a string of them that all unfortunately die. Well, most of them. We get a nice little happy encounter with a family, and then we have another questionable family that comes in and then remains unscathed. So
yeah, I just love how bad vibes are just telegraphed from that family just from the get-go. It's so amazing.
They're already like you were saying, like they're already digging the grave in advance. They're already ready, because I mean that the girl was asking for a strong cord.
Exactly, and yeah, the family is just like a cord and makes the strangling motions and everything, and it's just like, oh my God, this isn't really going to go this way, but thankfully it doesn't. No, they're fine.
And interestingly enough, despite the fact that multiple of their guests end up dead, and they decide to hide the fact, in order to not get bad press out about the guest house, so people actually stay there, and also, because some of these deaths do, put them in an unfortunate predicament as far as how it looks. Despite the fact that they continue to hide this, and you think that there's something coming for them, there are no consequences.
No, nothing really ever comes of this other than
the family comes closer together as a result.
They come closer together, and as per the ending, I mean, they go through that tumultuous eruption of Mount Fuji, I believe. Yeah. Is that actually Mount Fuji that erupts?
Yeah, I believe it's Fuji.
I mean, Mount Fuji erupts, and in the mud flow, I mean, they rescue Pochi, Pochi, and yeah, they come together and they actually save their house, and they actually end up in what looks like a kind of a paradise.
Mind you, naming your dog Pochi is like naming your dog Spot or Rex.
Yeah, exactly. Pochi. I'm surprised they didn't call it Inu. I mean, Jesus.
Inu?
Inu, yeah.
Yeah, which literally means dog.
Seriously, I'm surprised they didn't do that.
But yeah, no, I mean, that kind of, is in line how am I trying to put this? Like first appearances, this seems to be a very typical family. Of course, as they're introduced, we know that they're not. You've got the daughter. Well, in a lot of ways, a lot of these situations are a little bit relatable. I mean, you get the daughter that's frequently falling in love, but then you've got the ex-con son, Masayuki. Honestly, he probably has the best character arc in this movie. It's not like, Shizue changes at all.
No, absolutely. Shizue is pretty much fundamentally the same, and she's just going to get into the same scenario at another time. I mean, but yeah, Masayuki, I mean, yeah, he has a character arc. He starts off as an ex-con. He's kind of aloof with the family and everything.
He's not there because he wants to be, but it's like, Maso is giving him a chance, and Teruei has a conversation with him at that point, like, well, no, you are a good father because, like, you've given him another chance, and you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah, and it's good on him for doing that. Good on Masao. It's like
he's trying to provide for his family at the end of the day.
He's doing the best that he can. He really is.
I think that's kind of where you can draw like some comparisons if you juxtapose this with Audition, because at the end of the day it's about family.
Exactly. And at the end of Audition, I mean, you have the son coming in and actually breaking up the whole incident between Asami and I forget the father's name. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. but yeah, it does boil down to the family coming in and kind of saving each other and actually kind of coming together a little bit, then that's
right.
And just as much as dissolution of the Japanese family is like a central theme that Miike gets into, I mean, it also kind of families overcoming that and coming together is kind of still at the crux of that, even in Visitor Q, which of course is supposedly the parallel here. But also with Audition, those three movies, they kind of have that end, where the family does kind of end up closer together a little bit at the end,
as a result of this batshit.
Yeah, arguably, but even so.
Here we have a family that definitely loves each other from the outset. I mean, that's unlike Visitor Q, but they just have their differences. They're struggling, but they are together. At the end of the day, from the outset, again, like I said, Maso is doing this for his family. Because I mean, this dude gets laid off, and he's just trying to find another way to provide. And they hear that this guest house, there's a road that's coming that's going to bring a lot of traffic, and so
yeah. So I mean, they're at least kind of thinking ahead, and they're trying to get this business off the ground and everything.
We see through the use of one of the scenes, which seems random, where we have one of those one of the TV scenes where we have somebody from the other guest house talking about the guest house and how successful they're doing with it, where the farm animal's running in and then the fly goes up his nose.
Yeah, exactly.
But you actually see through that scene, it's kind of clever. We see that, such a thing is possible. You can be very successful because they mention all of their rooms are booked through next year.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely areas where where they're going to get more business. But my theory is that they got this place because it was cheap, and it's because look at the surrounding area around this whole house and everything. I mean, they're pretty much in the middle of a landfill practically. There's a landfill where there's literally garbage and like dead animals and shit. It's
the corpses, the human corpses will fit right in there.
Of course, yeah, they fit right the fuck in. It's like everything just kind of fits there, and even so, they're doing their best to try to make their own little slice of the pie there. But at the end of the day, they just keep coming upon bad luck. It's just Lady Luck is just not on their side. They keep getting the people who end up dead.
But at the same time, there's a lot of like them being actually very lucky. I mean, a policeman comes to their house while there are two corpses there, and then also at the end of the day, the family remains unscathed. A serial killer pops in and threatens the family, and that's who the police are chasing. They think the police are after them, but
which by the way, the dude at the end of the movie that was holding the mom hostage and everything, that was the dad from Visitor Q.
Visitor Q, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe you can make some kind of theory that these two movies are even linked, kind of narratively, sort of like maybe the dad ended up, getting another mistress along the way, and then killed that mistress, and now there he is. Something to that degree, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I think they give him a name.
Yeah,
in this movie. So
yeah. So I could be wrong, but it's an interesting thing to kind of think about.
Yeah,
because of that actual connection there, and I'm pretty sure it's not the first time that Miike has done that. In his movies, he has used certain actors throughout his movies and in different movies for different roles, for different reasons. So,
well, and these were filmed or released at least the same year. So,
yeah, it makes sense that he would be working with a lot of the same people,
right?
So.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, to see that this was in 2001, right?
Yes. This was 2001,
and I think that year he released something like half a dozen films,
including some of his most notable works that are more or less mainstream among cinemaphiles and everything. Ichi the Killer and Audition, and I think even around that time maybe Fudo, the New Generation, was out. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean the early 2000s was definitely Takashi Miike's that was his era. That was basically that.
Absolutely.
What's the last movie he's actually released, or what's the last work he's done? I'll look it up because I know he's still been produced. So he released Lumberjack the Monster in 2023.
Oh, okay. I haven't even heard of that one.
He released a couple films in 2021.
Yeah.
2019. So I mean, his releases are definitely spaced out a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that might be due to an increase in the production value of said movies.
It could be. Yeah.
Or, but during the early 2000s, I mean, this dude was just pumping out films.
Yeah, and this was one of those movies that was kind of released in that period of time. I think this was also when Bird People of China was released, which is a completely different kind of more spiritual movie than anything. Very different. And let's see, I think... like I said, I think Crow Zero maybe was released around this time, in this time period, which is another Miike movie I have. And also the Bodyguard, Bodyguard Kiba, he made two of those, and Dead or Alive. So, I mean, yeah, he pumped out an insane amount of movies in that period of time between maybe 1996 all the way up to about 2005. He released some of his most notable works. And
Crow Zero was 2007.
2007. All right.
I know you mentioned that one. Let's see. Great Yokai War was 2005, and we got Gozu in 2003.
2003. Yeah. So up to about Great Yokai War and everything.
Yeah. Full Metal Yakuza, Visitor Q, Dead or Alive. Yep.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and I have Full Metal Yakuza. That's a crazy fucking movie. That's pretty much his RoboCop.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, except with Yakuza and more necrophilia too.
I mean, you gotta have it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's just a straight up brief necrophilia scene. I mean, why the fuck not? Yeah.
But Katakuri-ke no Kōfuku is definitely it's much more wholesome than that. It's the worst thing in this movie is death and zombies.
Maybe a little bit of blood. A little there's some blood here,
and it's all played with a lighthearted tone, because if you hear the premise of the movie, this family, it keeps on hiding deaths, that are mysteriously happening at this guest house,
Yeah.
When you hear the premise, it sounds much more dark than it is. It's definitely played in this lighthearted comedic tone all throughout. It's in that way, it's kind of a dark comedy, but it doesn't feel dark.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean, there's a dark undercurrent to it, but it's not the same as in Visitor Q, which, the darkness is just incredibly foreboding from the moment that we open up the movie and we have like straight up incest, prostitution, and everything. So, I mean, as opposed to that, I mean, the darkness here is more cheeky. It's more cartoonish. Almost.
Yes. Yeah, and especially, like you said, we mentioned the claymation scenes. I mean, even the more, I feel like those were the scenes that were a little bit more taxing. Like that's where they would have used special effects, and so like on a lower budget, they just decided to claymation those scenes.
Absolutely. That's absolutely how that worked out, and it worked out for them in the end because, I mean, they were able to have those scenes also have a little bit of a more slapsticky nature to them.
Exactly. Like in the final one where they're literally like lifting the house and you're kind of wondering like, okay, so what actually happened in reality? But if we go back to the theory that this is all told through the unreliable narration of a little girl,
Yeah, which is still, strangely enough, narrated by a grown woman.
Yeah.
As if it's a flashback.
It's a flashback, right? Because, I mean, some of these stories have been told to her, obviously, after the fact.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to assume. But, like, I guess the house kind of just fell down in a mudslide.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario.
That's the most likely. But here, in the claymation world, they're just all, like, lifting it up together.
Exactly. And it's a great metaphor for the family's, endurance, and their fortitude whenever they're together, So it's them coming together to stand as one family unit, and, they save their house and they achieve paradise even.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that they come together as a family to put this thing, to keep this thing together that, several of them were considering walking out, or at least the kids, at least Masayuki, right? But, even by the end, he's willing to put his life on the line for his family. Him and the grandpa and Masao, I love that number that they do together where they are arguing over, who should take the blame for this, because they think the cops are coming for them when in fact they're coming for the serial killer that's hiding in their guest house.
Exactly. And I love how, the grandpa is just, he's just like, I'll take the blame here. And he just goes out there and then they just don't even, he's expecting to get arrested. And then at the end, he just finally kind of stumbles and faints. He's just like, oh shit. I thought I was going away for life,
Yeah, for him, that's a life sentence, right? Yeah, and so, like, and even, Masayuki comes in and wants to put his life on the line, and then the dad's like, no, I actually got us in this predicament. This is my fault. I was the one that not only, bought the guest house and kind of forced you all to work on this with me, but also, was the one that insisted that we don't tell the police about the bodies.
Yeah. And that said, they did kind of cast some aspersions on Masayuki whenever the first guest dies and the wallet comes up missing. It's like...
But just because it fell down between the bed and the wall.
Exactly. And Richard finds it later. And I mean, Richard is already kind of figuring out that something's off there. I mean, he's like, what's up with this room? Is it disinfectant? He's like, well, if it feels weird, smells weird.
Yeah.
And then he finds the wallet.
All of their rooms were empty, right? Why did they give him that one?
I know. What the hell? Why'd they give him the one that the sumo wrestler and his little girlfriend, which we're going to pretend was of age? I believe maybe. I mean, that's a little tenuous given Japanese law, but
we're going to pretend that she's 18, which would be bad enough, but at least
Yeah, at least that's old enough, I guess. That's of age. So, yeah.
Here in the States, anyway.
Here in the States, anyway, it's of age. Well, from what I understand, they just recently raised their age of consent, and not by much. So,
yikes!
Yeah,
do better, Japan. There are many facets of your culture that I appreciate and admire.
Do better. Yeah,
that is not one of them. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
なんで俺たちのペンションで死ぬんだ。落ち着いてくれ。遺書はないのか。ナイフ持ってる。
でこんな死んだ奴らの後始末ばっかりしなきゃいけねえんだ。後には引けないんだ。やるしかない。
お父さん、やるんなら早くしないと。
おい、やる方向かよ。リチャード佐川です。お日様もニコニコ見つめてる。さあ、ここは来てみなきゃわかんないって。ほら、ニャンコだってこんな気持ちいいじゃないか。ああ。さあ、笑って悲しみは風に飛ばしてしまおう。明日は天気、僕らは元気。一緒に笑う、それが幸せ。心のよりどころ。
What were we talking about? I'm high as fuck.
We may as well just talk about more of the songs in this movie because
Yes, I wanted to ask you, like we should do like our favorite songs.
yeah, I mean, I don't really remember the actual titles of the songs.
Oh no.
But the musical number with Shizue and Richard, you know, whenever they first meet, it's the great,
I love you.
quite possibly the greatest meet cute I've ever seen. It's amazing, and it just the they do that little kind of, I think it's almost like a samba kind of dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I don't know, it might be a little too rhythmic for a samba. I don't know,
I couldn't tell you.
but I mean. That one is like just the most colorful and the most joyous musical number, but also the karaoke number.
Yeah.
It's like that right there is also a favorite because I mean that's pretty much how those karaoke videos look. That's pretty much how they are in Japan, you know? It's like it's especially coming from the 90s, it had that really you know, kind of that aesthetic, you know what I'm talking about? Almost vaporwave-ish.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
You know, it's exactly the type of culture that would go on to influence stuff like vaporwave and chillwave and the aesthetics of those. You know?
Yeah. Me, I like the one where they find the body.
Yeah,
The first
that's an
body.
awesome one. I like that one as well.
You know, a suicide.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out what the fuck is actually going on here, and also just getting over the shock of what just happened and trying to figure out, and then that leads them to burying the body. Because I don't know, would you do the same thing?
I mean,
I don't know, man. I
because
mean,
you got a couple things to consider. One, like he said, bad press. No, even if the police rule it a suicide, which it was, you know that it's going to come out that it happened here at this guest house, and that was their one and only customer at that point. So, you know, like. Yeah, not good. But on the second hand, you know, the situation doesn't even look good for them. I mean, for some godforsaken reason, and he says this in the song, he uses the key, which he's turned into a shiv.
Yeah, he pretty much fastened it into a shiv and then just jabbed himself in the jugular.
Even though he has a knife.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I would say going off to kill yourself in someone else's bed and bath is kind of a dick move. But
100%.
Then using the key to the room to do it, it's like, yeah, that's a dick move, man.
I mean, I get like,
Dick
you know,
move.
maybe you just want to be in comfort somewhere, but you write a note being like, yeah, you know, I'm killing myself. But still a dick move.
Yeah, total dick move.
And then to use the key on top of that, like, what? Why? None of this makes any sense, but you know, that's this film. And then the first musical number we get is his suicide song, like his song he's singing in his heart because he is depressed.
Yeah, and that's where the initial surprise of what this movie actually is kind of sets in with first time viewers. You know, is when you start to have those little stabs. I mean the claymation non sequitur shit is already, you know, crazy enough. But then you get these first musical numbers, and you're just like, wait, is this a musical? what the fuck?
Exactly. Like what the fuck? Like you just don't, like you just never know what to predict with this movie. And that's what's great about it. I mean, I think out of all the Takashi Miike films that we've done on this podcast, I think I had the most fun with this one.
Probably between this and Ichi the Killer
Ichi is a lot of fun too. Don't get me wrong.
Those are probably the most fun of all the movies that we've done so far on one of these. So
yeah, but like I really vibed with this. I enjoyed it. I mean, I've already watched the film like 4 times over, and it doesn't get any less entertaining anytime I watch it.
Absolutely not. I mean, I mean, Robert even was he had to go home at the end of the day, but I mean, he ended up watching at least over an hour of the movie.
Dude, it was like 9 or 10 p.m. What the fuck, Robert?
I know. What the fuck, Robert? Why, Robert? Come on. It's like I mean, I'm 40. I'm goddamn 42 years old. It's like, and I'm still up at fucking 1 a.m.
9 or 10 p.m. is early for us. So.
Yeah, that's early. This is y'all. You have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a late night podcast all the way through and through. That's when we mostly record, unless we have guests that we have to accommodate earlier in the day or in the morning. Like we'll do that, but this is a late night podcast, and a show like this is 100% a great late night movie.
It is. It really is.
It really is one of those good movies you can put on in the middle of the night and have a lot of fun with and vibe with and everything.
You can. Not quite as a background movie because I mean you've got to read the subtitles. I don't think a dub exists of this movie.
No, and nor should it. I don't think a dub. It intrinsically wouldn't work.
I think you're right,
especially with the musical numbers. It just could not work.
That's true. They'd have to rewrite all the songs, and then it would
lose lots of context.
Yeah,
you know.
I think a lot of this works in the Japanese language, especially, and just the way it's presented. But I was telling you earlier, what I would like to see would be kind of a cool idea. I had this idea, right? Hear me out. An American, TV series remake, of this movie.
Yes.
And it's such an obscure thing. Most people haven't heard of it. So like it would be really cool, and it would bring back attention to Happiness of the Katakuris.
And also it's not without precedent. I mean, there is a television series of Bong Joon-ho's Snowpiercer. So it's not completely out of bounds that a streaming service like Netflix or like Apple or something like that would probably, maybe invest in an American remake, or even just have Miike do another version of it just as a series.
Yeah.
Because he's done TV series as well. He did MPD Psycho. Right. So, I mean, that's not that's not out of bounds for him either.
I'm just saying, like, you could do a lot of cool things with it, and have the same story, and just kind of flesh out some of the subplots there, and turn them into episodes. And I could even kind of see where they'd cut this shit. And I don't know, it could be cool. It was just an idea I was having on like the last rewatch.
I could see it at least as an experimental series on Netflix at the very least.
In my mind, it was kind of like a Netflix thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, Happiness of the Katakuris is something that, like, in every take I've seen on this movie, people are completely surprised by it, and yet, they enjoyed the experience. It doesn't have quite that disturbing quality that we've seen in a lot of Miike Sensei's other work.
This is probably the first non-disturbing movie of his whole filmography that we've done.
Yeah,
already, and it's all the better for it, which I will say Shudder did put this in their extreme film section for some reason, alongside stuff like Human Centipede and Cannibal Holocaust. I'm just like, what? Why?
There's not even an actual murder in this movie.
No, there's nobody kills anybody in this movie, so it's very strange that would kind of occupy that space on Shudder of all places. So, but I mean, I would say maybe it's extreme just in the way that it kind of approaches genre more than anything, and Shudder is kind of like that. Shudder kind of tries to have, anything under the horror and thriller bailiwick, no matter what.
Is this horror, though? Because, I mean...
It's tangentially horror.
Because, like, like I said, nothing in this movie feels scary or disturbing. It's all just sort of
I understand, but also, I mean, there's zombies in this. I mean, there is like some bloody moments. I mean, there also you can almost say that the arrival of the creepy family is kind of almost feels like a build up to a horror. Kind of something horror-ish, but
well, I will say on first watch there is sort of this subtext to the movie, because I mean, like I said, you're almost expecting consequences, you know, like you're hiding bodies and shit, and this is Miike-san we're talking about, so it's like, you know, like I'm just kind of trying to see where this goes, and it feels like it might go in a direction that's dark, but it doesn't. At every turn, it just maintains this jovial nature. It doesn't take even, you know, the gravity of its own situations.
No, not at all. And it all just kind of falls back on these characters and how absolutely lovable they are. I mean,
the characters are great.
You just grow to love this rambunctious little family of adults trying to make a living.
And also Richard.
And Richard. Yes, and Richard too.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, the dude was an asshole. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, he's just such a Chad the way he just approaches women.
Total fucking Chad. Man, absolute Chad, but at the same time, the grandpa was right to bunk him on the head.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was.
I feel like the scene where like he's over the phone and he's just like you see already that he's a phony. I mean, you had your suspicions already, but like you're seeing him literally like play sounds from a radio or something.
Exactly, saying that he's in Iraq or something like that, and it's like,
and then this dude makes it seem like he's like crashed and shit.
I know, man.
I guess that's how you put a woman in the palm of your hand. I don't know.
I guess so. I don't know.
Or maybe he just, you know, finds women similar to Shizue who are
very
easily
naive and easy to kind of sweet talk.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So in a way, he's kind of a predator. But I mean, just, you know, more of a con than that. You know, it's kind of a combination. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a con man. You're going after the single moms.
Yeah, he's going after the single moms, and then once he marries them, he probably saddles them with a bunch of his debt, and then moves on. It's a racket, man. I mean, shit.
Plus, you know, you're getting that single mom pussy.
I mean, yeah, I guess there's that as well, too. But yeah, I guess that we can kind of start getting into our final thoughts here. So I'll go ahead and let you start, Ash.
Happiness of the Katakuris, like I said, is definitely, I think, the most like fun I've had out of a Takashi Miike film. Like I think it's the one I've derived the most enjoyment out of, honestly, because it's wholesome. It's family, Beau. Family. I just had a lot of fun with this movie, and you can never really, like, again, it's so unpredictable. You never know where it's going, and you're just kind of along for the ride, and what a ride it is.
Absolutely. I mean, just the different twists and turns that it takes, you know, just even with even between mediums, between, you know, stop motion, claymation, and real life, you know, and just it's almost like a kaleidoscope in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's kaleidoscopic.
Definitely.
Yeah. But as far as my final thoughts, I've been watching Takashi Miike movies for a long time, people. Like, a very long time. He's been a part of my life for a long time. I mean, there's a reason why we make our anniversary episodes surrounding his movies. And this right here is just one of the best celebrations of you know, just his actual skills as a director, and also his just his overall approach to filmmaking, you know? And it's also just a celebration of Japanese, this very, very specific type of Japanese pop culture in a way, you know? Like with the karaoke scene, and also with that weird television show that's going on and everything. And, you know?
Yeah. Well, we didn't even talk about the drag commercial or music video.
It's a music video, and there's also like a news segment that they watch or something.
Well, we talked about the news segment with the bug going up the nose, but the drag music video. But I think they're just reacting as if it's a woman.
No, absolutely. It's like they're the foremost pop star of the time or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's everything that Takashi Miike, was up to that point and would become. You know, because I mean, by this point, like we said, he'd already done like Audition. He'd already done Ichi the Killer, like Agitator around that time, and everything. So he was already kind of starting to get that reputation as kind of a disturbing filmmaker. But this right here just kind of came out and said, no, it's like some of that is prevalent there, but it's not. It's not up front in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not up front. And he really just kind of celebrates, everything that he's done up to this point. And that's why I kind of feel like he really approached this and made this into a musical and everything. It's a very celebratory movie. And it would show that later on he could do more tender movies as well, or even more all-encompassing kind of mind-fucky movies, even like Izo, or an example of a more tender drama was like Bird People of China, which is kind of a difficult movie to find nowadays. I don't even think it's streaming now. But that's more of a very slow spiritual journey for these. I think it's like a journalist and a Yakuza man, and they come across this village of people who believe that they're birds, and they're trying to like flap their wings and fly like birds and everything. But it turns into this really spiritual, philosophical journey for those two characters. But yeah, it kind of shows where he was going to go from there, And I'm glad that we were able to kind of talk about this movie and bring it forth because, not enough people really talk about it the same way that we talked about all the other movies of his that we've done,
Yeah, I mean, mainly you hear about like Ichi and Audition, and I think we talked about that before on the podcast. And this is one of the more obscure ones, but you can find it. We rented it using Fandor through YouTube.
Yeah, for a while it was available on Tubi.
It was on Tubi, yeah.
It could make a comeback there. They could renew the license, so you could look there. But also, if you like physical media, Arrow Video did an amazing release of this. That's pretty much like really, really all-encompassing and has all kinds of materials that are like from behind the scenes, and were specifically made for that release. So, yeah, definitely check that one out. I mean, this is a movie that will absolutely just, it will charm you. It's charming, and you'll love the characters, and you'll love the approach that Miike took to the cinematography, and also the way that the different types of techniques are used here, like a green screen and claymation, and the musical scenes, and it's still. I mean, it still kind of comes together even in the third act, where it just turns into this weird zombie romp for very briefly, and then it leads to that ending. So, but it's a movie that's very fulfilling to watch, and as such, it's something that you really, really, really need to track down and watch. It, like we said, it's on Fandor, so if you want to do a free trial there, by all means do so and check it out there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So anyway, Ash, Collateral Gaming has released something new recently, didn't they?
Yeah, so we did our first DLC edition on the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, and that was a lot of fun. I had that with my buddy Michael Toscano, so go check that out wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll have out part 2 of our episode on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, covering the Great Ace Attorney 2. I know, Beau,
Yes, I'm having so much fun playing this game, dude.
Hell yeah,
my
man.
God, it's taking up my spare time at work. Even it's amazing.
And you're on arguably the best case of the game right now.
Case 3.
Although like the epicness of the finale of like Case 5 really also stands out, but it's a great fucking game. It's a great fucking duology, and I'm glad we're covering those. After that, we'll be covering 007 Nightfire as well as Doom, our season finale. I believe that is the 1993 original.
I am so down to be on that episode.
Fuck yeah, man.
Because I mean, I have so many. I have a long history with Doom. I mean, going all the way back. I mean, it was one of my first real exposure to, like, shareware, for one. And it was also my first first-person shooter, my first boomer shooter, Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of great memories attached to that game, so I definitely want to be on that episode to talk about it. And, of course, I mean, playing it will be fun. I mean, we both have it on Switch and everything through your...
Yup.
Via your thing or whatever.
It's also on PlayStation Plus, I think. So
so you can play it there as well. But I mean, you can play that thing on a goddamn refrigerator if you want to. I mean, it's easy to play Doom anywhere.
I'm pretty sure it's the most ported game in history. There's that whole meme of like, let's play Doom on a grain of rice.
I know, right? Or let's go to McDonald's and play Doom on the goddamn ordering kiosk, which is amazing. Honestly.
Doom on a smartwatch.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we are in the planning stages for both Collateral Gaming and Collateral Cinema seasons 7 and 8 respectively.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and announce the season premiere of Collateral Cinema in October. We are talking about Terrifier. Finally, in October, they're releasing Terrifier 3. So it might be worth it for us to also watch Terrifier 2, but I think we're mainly going to go ahead and just talk about the first one.
Yeah. We should do it at the movies review on Terrifier 3 then.
Yeah, we should do it. Exactly. So, and I think that the Halloween episode is going to be Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween 5.
Nice.
So
it makes sense. We just did 4.
Exactly.
There's kind of a logical order to this. I mean, we did the original 1978 original. We did the 2018 trilogy, and then now we're going to the 4, 5, and 6, which kind of formed their own.
It's the Cult of Thorn trilogy. That's
the Cult of Thorn trilogy.
That's typically what it's kind of viewed as. It has Danielle Harris in it and everything.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder, which direction we're going to go next. Should we just go ahead and do part 2? Should we do Season of the Witch? Should we do the Rob Zombie movies? H2O.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of ways that we could go there. I mean, I think that it would be best to go ahead and talk about Halloween 2 next time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, of course, we've done the first original Halloween back in the day.
Right.
Were you on that episode?
No,
yeah. Ooh.
I was on the 2018 episode.
Ooh, that may have to be a future Redux episode then, because we might have to revisit the original 78 Halloween.
Honestly, we should. That is a perfect one to do a Redux on. Like, after we've covered everything else in the franchise for sure, right?
Yeah, at the least.
Right.
Seriously. So
hell yeah, man.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, look for season 8, and I mean we can also confirm our season finale, which is going to be our 100th episode. Our 100th numbered episode. And of course, that means we are doing the Room Redux. And we are going to have a few messages from some of our friends on that one. So stay tuned for that. We are gathering up messages from all of our peeps in the Potter family and everything. So, and if you are a podcaster and if you would like to send us a brief message, like maybe about 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds at the most, maybe in between. Yeah, send it to us on our email. It's collateralcinemammoviepodcast@gmail.com. So, yeah, and we are also going to have some of our guests returning. Everything. I think we can confirm at least Cinema Recall. Our good friend the Vern. He's going to make a return.
Hell yeah.
Okay. And I believe I can also go ahead and confirm that Kaylee from Once Over with Kaylee, she's going to be joining us.
Dope.
Yeah. And I believe Retro Anime Podcast will be joining us for Ghost in the Shell.
Nice.
So, yeah, and we will have more guests coming, more announcements on guests coming very soon. We have more in store for this season. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned. This is going to be a monumental season for us. I feel this is a big season.
Oh, so big words.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man!
At the very least, it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Season 8.
Yes.
Can't fucking believe it, man.
I know. Season 8, 2 more years. It's a full decade. God damn it.
I mean, this is our season 7 anniversary, man. We've been doing this. For I guess that would make it 6 years, although technically 7.
No, we started in 2017, but the pilot was recorded maybe late 2016.
That's what I was going to say, because the pilot was actually recorded about a year before season 1 proper started. So,
exactly.
Actually 7 years. So, yeah, man, it's been a blast. I mean, I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years with you. So,
yeah. So you already have some mileage with us here.
Yeah,
so.
and we've been doing collateral gaming almost as long as that. So, yeah, man, this has been great. I mean, podcasting has become it's part of my life.
Absolutely, man. I don't. It's like no matter what, whether we make money on this or not, this is just something we're going to be doing.
Yeah, honestly, guys, it's therapeutic for me. So we just appreciate the fact that people listen to our shit.
Absolutely, but I mean that said, we do appreciate support, which we'll drop. We'll drop all the promos for that here in a little bit.
We're at over 15K overall downloads, right?
We were at 15,800 downloads.
Nearly 16,000.
Yeah, we're getting close to 16,000. We're starting to get some more listeners during the day. I'm starting to hit Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram and Threads really, really hard. Which, by the way, you can follow us there. We can follow us on all those platforms. Mm-hmm. Also, trying to post more on the Facebook shitposting group, Collateral Media Podcasts.
Yep.
You can join us there as well.
Yeah, I'm there all the time.
Yeah. Usually Robert and Ash and I are almost always there. We're always posting there. If you want to hit us up there, hit us up there. You can talk directly at us. Of course, we have a subreddit, which we need to do a little more with, admittedly. And we're also on TikTok, so...
We are everywhere.
And, of course, on the YouTubes, right?
Don't ever say it that way again.
We were on the YouTubes, bro. We're totally on the YouTubes, man.
All right, we are on YouTube, but we are not YouTubers.
No, we are not. YouTubers are I don't know. It just always ends up being something bad with YouTubers nowadays, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Should we order some Mr. Beast burgers?
Oh God!
For the next podcast, do they make Impossible burgers of Mr. Beast burgers for you, Beau?
Do they?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know.
Is there a vegan Mr. Beast burger?
I don't know. I don't know if Mr. Beast cares about vegans. So I mean, I can't say. But yeah, you can also find us on YouTube where we have our short film Texas Sundown available. That was written and directed by and starring Robert Ortegon, and also starring and filmed by Ash and myself, and also his brother Jesse Ortegon. So
it was a group effort. Really.
It was a group effort. Yeah,
I'm doing my I'm standing in for Robert.
It was a group. It was a group effort. But then you could just talk to my agent about it, anyways. Because I mean, you know, I just have the best face of this podcast. I'm sorry, Robert. That's my best impression of you.
So, Robert, don't you have a film out? No, I don't. No, I don't.
Nothing coming up. Nothing. Honestly, Robert, we love you, brother. We love you, man. We wish you were here. Damn it. It feels weird to do anniversary episodes without you.
But he can't, and he won't, and he's busy finding Jesus.
God damn it! Oh my God! Yeah, and he certainly found him.
Robert's on a church retreat, apparently. So
yeah, apparently, I mean,
we keep teasing him about it.
But no, he's taking it in stride, though. He's taking it in stride. So, and he still somehow manages to get to his cell phone, even though they don't allow it. So,
you know, you just gotta.
You just gotta rage against the machine, bro. That's what you gotta do. You gotta rage. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, I think this has been going on long enough.
We are going off of tangents here.
I don't know. It's kind of fitting.
But also, I mean, we have our affiliate link on TeePublic. That's in the show notes and everything. And you can also find us on Patreon, on Buy Me a Coffee, and on Podbean Patron. Although we need to pay more to get access to that, apparently. Damn it, Podbean. But yeah. Help support the podcast however way you can, everybody. And with that said, is there anything else that we can add here? Any more bullshitting we want to get into? I mean, I'm down for another tangent. you know it.
I just want to let everybody know. I know that I've never told you guys this, but I'm actually Vladimir Putin's third cousin twice removed.
So you're JD Vance? No. It's like JD Vance is. I heard him on Twitter referred to as Vladimir Futon.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
I'm also in the Swedish Army.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And totally in the Swedish Army. So I guess we'll find you a wayfish Japanese girl to fall in love with.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
cool.
down.
All right. Cool. All right. We're done. All right. We have an episode, I guess. All right. With all that said, I'm Beau Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this was our Miikeversary episode. Richard!
Koi suru yokan 誰にも訪れる素晴らしい瞬間神様がささやく I love you
忙しくても楽しくて
辛いこともへっちゃらで声を聞きたい
話したい
あなたの声それだけで
私を包む
恋の魔法落ちたら全てがキラキラ輝いて神様が歌う I love you
一人で眠る長い夜も
あなたを待ってる夕暮れも嬉しいようで
切なくて
あなたの笑顔抱きしめて恋したことに感謝してる 私を包む恋の魔法
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.